Goaltenders. So when we have discussions on live streams, especially, the questions I get asked the most about are rookies and goaltenders, and rightfully so. And if you look at my wall here, you'll see Mario Lassard. There's Desjardins is actually behind of the Sabres is behind this here. Let's move that a little bit. See from the old Sabres. Kirk McLean for the Canucks. Andrew Raycroft for Boston here. Ken Reggett for Pittsburgh, Gilles Gratton here for the Rangers, and then I've got Minnesota North Stars on this side here that I haven't been able to get moved over there. I like goaltenders. I do. I've always liked goaltenders because these are guys who are paid to stop pucks being shot by guys who can shoot the puck at 100 miles an hour. They are far braver than I am. I have no problem admitting that. Some would say crazy. This is why when goaltenders are temperamental, this is why when goaltenders have these weird rituals to their whole goaltending experience, I don't have any problem with it because you're in net, you're trying to stop the puck from these guys. You got to be a little bit different to be willing to give that a shot. Where you go, I'd like to be the one who gets the puck fired at my head. Can I have that job? You go for it. So right off the bat, a lot of respect towards goaltenders. I've always had that, and that's why when people talk about 80s hockey, they go, goaltenders. Yeah, when the pads were a lot smaller, the goaltenders were smaller as well, and guys still shot the puck at 100 miles an hour, Al McInnes. So, yeah, it's still a lot of respect for those guys being able to go out there and do that when the puck really hurt. So, Andrei Vasilevsky is the goaltender at the top of this board, where we're going to talk about Vezina contenders. And obviously I'm wearing a jersey of who I think right now may very well be the front runner. But we can't discount Andrei Vasilevsky because he's won it before. He won it in 2019. He is, I think, the best goaltender in the National Hockey League. This year, with the divisional matchups being the only hockey games we're going to see, there's a lot of uncertainty. But for Vasilevsky, his numbers speak for themselves. 15-3-1 with a .939 save percentage. Absolutely ridiculous numbers being put up by Andrei Vasilevsky over what's, yes, a shortened season, but he may still hit 30 wins. He may hit 30 wins in what is a shortened season. He may have hit 40 or 50 if we've gone to 82 games under this current format. Under a regular season format, I don't know, I think some of these ridiculous numbers you see teams and players putting up probably would even out a little bit. But with this tournament style setup, some guys just feast on certain teams and certain situations, and Vasilevsky's been great. So he will get a lot of votes. But don't count out Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury, I've said in a recent live stream, I think it was on Patreon, that I believe he'll end up getting a trophy in Vegas. I think he's that popular that when he decides to leave the Vegas Golden Knights, that you will have a Marc-Andre Fleury Marc-Andre Fleury statue outside of T-Mobile. I'd be very surprised if they don't. He is that beloved. Now, what's interesting is before Marc-Andre Fleury goes to the city of Las Vegas and becomes, the Golden Knights face of the franchise and everybody loves him, in Pittsburgh, he was a 1A, 1B option. He was never really that fantastic goaltender. His regular season numbers were average. They were good, not fantastic. And so he didn't get a lot of Vezina consideration. In fact, in Vegas, 2018-2019, he was 4th in Vezina voting. 2017-2018, he was 5th in Vezina voting. That's the highest he's ever been. So this season could be that magical season, and it could be that one last item on his resume for him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, where he doesn't have anything to be concerned about. He's got a 12-4 record, .943 save percentage. Best save percentage in the league. That goes a long way to getting you noticed by voting members, and as well the fact that it's Fleury and Vegas is having a fantastic season, and he wasn't supposed to be here. This was supposed to be Robin Lehner's net. Robin Lehner getting hurt, and it was perfect timing for Fleury, who I'm sure doesn't wish any ill on Robin Lehner, but he's taken the bull by the horns. And for a goaltender that during the offseason, rumor had it, people didn't want his contract, and they couldn't trade him out, and they were having a hard time because they wouldn't retain any salary. Now they must be very, very glad that trade never took place. And Fleury, right now, I think is most likely to win it. And I think it's between Fleury and Vasilevsky for goaltender of the year. But I want to talk about others. Starting with Semyon Varlamov with the New York Islanders. 11-4-3 record, 926 save percentage. Barry Trotz likes to rotate his goaltenders. He's in a situation this year where he's got Sorokin, who's a rookie, and he's got Varlamov, and the numbers would tell you Varlamov is a better goaltender than Sorokin. The numbers are tightening up a little bit as Sorokin gets more experience and becomes better in the NHL, but still, Varlamov's numbers are excellent. I remember Robin Leonard proving me wrong about the idea that a goaltender has to play a certain amount of games before he'll get consideration. So I don't think the fact that Varlamov plays for the Islanders has any effect on whether he does or doesn't get nominated and maybe win it. The thing is, the 926 save percentage is very far below that of Fleury or Vasilevsky. So if I was doing a top three right now, who I thought would be in that top three, it'd be Vasilevsky, Fleury, and I think Varlamov ends up in that third spot. But there are a lot of other goaltenders we need to discuss, starting with the two rookies, Lankinen and Kakkonen. It doesn't matter which order you put them in. Lankinen 9-4-4, Kakkonen 10-4, 919 save percentage for Lankinen, 924 save percentage for Kakkonen. And these guys are both very good young goaltenders. And I know Lankinen, some will say he's not that young. By goaltending standards, 25, 26, still young. For most other positions in the league, 25, 26, that's your prime, and maybe even aging out of your prime. But for goaltenders, it does take them longer. So, this is an interesting fight between these two for who might be the best rookie in the rookie class. Plus, for Kakkonen, he's been great for the Minnesota Wild, and he deserves at least some kind of semblance of consideration, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes for him, and whether or not he has the falling off that Vanecek's had with Washington, which is why I don't have Vanecek on the board. I wanted to also talk about the Thatcher Demko Jacob Markstrom debate. So Markstrom leaves to go to Calgary, and of course there are still people who will point and say, see, Vancouver's where they're at because they didn't keep Markstrom. Au contraire. Markstrom's numbers in Calgary tell you last season he had a great year. In Calgary, his numbers haven't been as good. He's 8-7-2 with a 907 save percentage, whereas Demko, 8-9-1, the win-loss ratio is about the same, and he has a 916 save percentage. So, with all of the discussion around Jim Benning, imagine the furor, the absolute horror going on right now in Vancouver if they had kept both goaltenders, if they had given Markstrom that no movement clause that he was insisting on, meaning he would not be eligible to be exposed in the expansion draft, so you would just lose Demko to Seattle. The amount of smoke coming out of Vancouver right now, just from the ears of Vancouver fans, would be impressive. And so Demko's numbers have been better than Markstrom's, and this is after what was a slow start. So if he can keep up what's been a really, really good run that he's been on, I could see Demko ending up in that conversation. Markstrom's capable of going on a hot streak as well, but at a 907 save percentage right now, it would have to be red hot to get him up into that number. At 916, Demko's a lot closer. And if the Canucks miss the playoffs, if he's seen as their MVP, if his numbers are really good, Demko's going to get a few votes. He won't win it. He's not going to end up knocking out Fleury or Vasilevsky, but just having him get a few votes might make Canuck fans feel a little better about things. Mike Smith in Edmonton. So remember when Mike Smith signed and Oiler fans were like, why are we signing Smith? Why'd they bring back Smith? Couldn't we find somebody as an upgrade to Smith? I swear I even saw somebody say Jimmy Howard would have been an upgrade on Smith. So what ends up happening is Smith goes 7-2 with a 925 save percentage. Not too shabby. The 7-2 record is impressive. The 925 save percentage, even more so. This is a goaltender that was basically, he's done, right? He's done. That's it. Oiler fans were like, yeah, he's done. We don't need him. We're good. We'll have Koskinen. I don't know, maybe Skinner's the backup. We can bring somebody else in to be the backup. Why are we re-signing Mike Smith? We don't need him. He has been a big part of a turnaround for the Oilers. The Oilers now, I think they make the playoffs, and I think the way Mike Smith's playing, he's their starter when they get there. He's been very, very good, and he has made a career out of proving people wrong, going back to when Tampa Bay let him go to Arizona, and he proved them wrong in that one. So Smith, it's something he's made a career doing, and he continues to do that for the Edmonton Oilers. Chris Drieger. Worthy of discussion, and I have put Bobrovsky on the board. Initially, I wasn't going to put Sergei Bobrovsky on the board. It's one of those oddities. So Bobrovsky's got an 8-2-2 record. Drieger's record's 7-3-2. That would tell you they're playing about the same, and it doesn't matter who's in net. But then you look at the save percentage, and it's insane. Bobrovsky, 900. Now, Bobrovsky's save percentage, he started bringing it up. It was bad. He started to bring it up. But Drieger's at 920. And this is one of those times where if you look at Bobrovsky's numbers and you say, well, he's a Vezina winner in 2013 and 2017. Maybe he's just having a hard time because Florida's defense isn't that great. The argument gets undermined immediately when you see Drieger with the 920 save percentage. And Drieger had the better save percentage last year, too. It is an interesting question because Drieger will bring in the Seattle conversation again. Why wouldn't Seattle take Drieger? So for people saying, if we could get Seattle to somehow take Carey Price, why would they do that if they could get Drieger? He's young, he's cheap, and you've got all that money you can spend elsewhere. Like, it's just, why wouldn't they take Drieger? So yeah, 920 save percentage. He has really come a long way from where he was when he was in Ottawa, and he was kind of a cast-off. So yeah, things are definitely interesting for him. And for Connor Hellebuyck, the defending Vezina winner. 11-7-1, 911 save percentage. Now, again, this is where people could prop up and go, you know what? He's got a good win record. And, yeah, his save percentage is low, but it's the North Division. North Division save percentages tend to be low. This is where people could then point out, well, yeah, Demko 916, Smith 925. There are goaltenders with good save percentages. I don't think Hellebuyck gets into the conversation necessarily. I don't know how fair that would be if he didn't. Hellebuyck, there's been plenty of games where he's been really, really good. But his overall numbers haven't been as good as last year. And I don't know if it's Vezina good. I don't know if it's consistently Vezina good. And I would argue both Fleury and Vasilevsky have been consistently Vezina level good. And then I also wanted to throw in Carey Price because it's 7-4-4 with a 903 save percentage. The 2015 Vezina winner. And that's his Vezina. That's the one. It's fascinating that he gets as much press as he does. Players have said, as recently as the return to play last year, that they didn't want a 2 out of 3 setup because Carey Price can steal 2 out of 3 games. The respect they have for the goaltender seems to belie the numbers. The numbers would tell you he's a middling goaltender. They will tell you that for years, that he's been okay to good. Good, not necessarily great. And it's been that way for years, and now he's, looking into his mid-30s, and I don't know. I don't know if there's a comeback there. But at a 7-4-4 record, that 903 was helped up to that level last night by the game against Vancouver. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow night he shuts out the Canucks. Save percentage goes up. But Price is very consistently inconsistent. And yeah, he looks great today, and tomorrow, who knows? But according to the players, he's the best goalie in the league. So, but he's nowhere near Vezina. He's not even close. He's not even on the map right now, I don't think, of Vezina. I have to mention Darcy Kemper because Arizona fans will tell you he's one of the best goalies in the league. I will say this for Kemper. 7-7-2 with a 914 save percentage. I think he's better than his numbers. I think he's a better goaltender than the numbers would tell you. When Kemper was on the market in the offseason, reportedly on the market. Notice all these guys that have been on the market that don't actually get moved. I thought it was crazy for Arizona to even think about moving Kemper because Ranta's been proven to be injury prone. Ranta's the one that's about to be a UFA. And Kemper is signed to a very team-friendly contract, and he's just excellent. Kemper may end up getting some votes by the end of the year because he is very consistent. And I think that 914, I think he can bring that up. I think he can bring his save percentage up, and I think his overall numbers could be good. What may hurt him is that he plays in Arizona. And Arizona players don't really get the votes they should. Just look at Oliver Ekman-Larsson in some of his best seasons and not really considered as seriously for the Norris as maybe he should have been. So, others that aren't on the board, Pekka Rinne from 2018, not anywhere near Vezina level right now. Braden Holtby, 2016, he is the clear backup. even if Travis Green was like, I'd like to play Holtby more, I can't see anybody supporting that. I even think Braden Holtby would say, look, that Demko kid's really good. No, let him play. 2014 Tuukka Rask. Rask's numbers this year have been very wildly inconsistent. I do think it's his last year. I'd be very surprised if he comes back next year. I think Boston's goaltending, I think both Halak and Rask probably go at the end of this year, and Boston's probably going to look at completely revamping their goaltending. And maybe they make a call about Drieger. Maybe they make a call to Florida and say, hey, look, you guys are going to lose Drieger for nothing. And then, of course, Florida might try to slip in there. You sure you don't want Bobrovsky? Because we can, and you just hang up. But anyways, yeah, I still think Vasilevsky, Fleury, the top two. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know there's other goaltenders that aren't on the board. I have to have a limit. We're at about 16 minutes. If I put all the goalies on the board, it'll be about 70. And then nobody watches it. And then we're all sad. Well, okay, I'm sad. But anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your race or you just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.